Have you ever wished you could get a smartphone that, feels like a top-tier flagship, but without that really eye-watering price tag?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving deep into some pretty fascinating leaks about a device that's aiming to do just that. We're talking about the forthcoming OnePlus 15R.
Also known as the A6 in
Yeah.
certain markets, yeah.
Exactly.
And this isn't just like another small update. Based on some really credible leaks, and the preliminary info we have, the OnePlus 15R or A6, it looks poised to be a major contender.
Right, in that budget flagship space.
Yeah, a space OnePlus pretty much defined historically, you could argue.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today, really, is to pull out the most important bits of knowledge from these leaked specs.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try and reveal how OnePlus is aiming to, well, shake up the mid to high-end smartphone market.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe most importantly, what this all means for you if you're looking for powerful tech but don't want to break the bank.
And get ready for some surprising stuff. We're talking potentially an incredibly high refresh rate.
Yeah, I saw that.
A massive battery that could honestly set new benchmarks for the industry, and some really strategic design choices, too.
Choices that might just blur those lines between mid-range and premium.
Yeah.
Okay. So, to start, maybe let's nail down what we actually mean by a budget flagship or flagship killer.
Sure. So this segment, it's really all about devices that skillfully balance, high-end performance and a carefully chosen set of premium features, but at a price point that's significantly more accessible than your typical top-of-the-line flagship phone.
And OnePlus, they really built their whole identity on this idea early on, didn't they? They were the original flagship killer pioneers.
Absolutely. Delivering cutting-edge specs at prices that were, frankly, disruptive at the time.
But now, their main numbered series, like the OnePlus 13, it's gradually moved more into that truly premium space, right? Launching closer to, what, 70,000 in India?
Yeah, around that mark.
So how do they hold on to that original identity now?
Well, that's exactly where the R and the A series come in. They're critical now. They've consistently been the brand's dedicated way of offering those near flagship experiences, but at more competitive, value-focused prices.
Right.
So take the OnePlus Ace 5, for example. It launched in China for around $26,900, give or take.
Okay.
And that often serves as the kind of foundational blueprint for these global R-branded models that we get.
So it's a clear strategy.
Yeah.
Sophisticated market segmentation, right?
Exactly. It allows them to compete across different price brackets effectively.
It is clever. It lets them stay competitive.
Yeah.
But, for the longtime fans, is it really a return to form, or is it more just a tactical move to grab a new segment?
I think it's probably a bit of both, actually. As their main line, like the OnePlus 15 coming up, pushes higher in price.
Yeah.
These R and Ace phones are just crucial for keeping that original flagship killer story alive.
Right. Keep the narrative going.
Yeah, it's a deliberate effort. Stops competitors from completely owning that value segment, and it keeps a core part of their loyal base happy, the ones who want performance without that absolute top cost.
Okay, makes sense. Now let's get into the engine room, the core performance.
Mm-hmm.
The OnePlus 15R A6 is consistently rumored to have pretty powerful Snapdragon 8 series chip, specifically the Snapdragon 8's Gen 5.
Right.
You called this flagship adjacent before we started. Is this just Qualcomm, like cutting corners, or is it something more strategic, maybe a new tier of high-performance chips?
Oh, it's definitely not cutting corners. I'd say it represents a really calculated engineering and market positioning choice by Qualcomm.
Okay.
Think of it like this. It shares the same high-performance DNA, key components like the advanced GPU, from the really elite chips.
Gotcha.
It's built on the very latest, most efficient manufacturing process, too, TSMC's M3P, ensuring top performance without that bleeding-edge price tag.
So it's a new category almost.
Pretty much. This trend of flagship-adjacent chipsets, it's likely to become more common, I think. It blurs those lines even further between mid-range and the true flagships.
And on top of that powerful chip, the RAM configurations are expected to be generous. We're hearing mentions of 12 GB, maybe even up to 16 GB of LPDDR5X RAM.
Yeah, the fastest type available for phones.
Which means apps launch instantly. Multitasking is like butter smooth. Plus, storage from 256 GB up to a massive 1 TB. This really screams power user and gamer, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, yeah. The consistent focus on a powerful Snapdragon 8 series chip, plus plenty of RAM and storage, it strongly suggests OnePlus is prioritizing that raw computing power.
Right.
They know their target audience really values processor strength and seamless multitasking for a fluid experience. It tells us they're definitely listening to what those power users want.
Okay, so we know it's going to be fast, powerful under the hood, but what about the parts you actually, touch and see every day?
Right, the display.
Let's talk about the display, because this is where OnePlus is rumored to be doing something, well, pretty extraordinary. It's a large 6.83-inch OLED. Okay, standard enough. But then I saw this rumor about an exceptionally high 165 hertz refresh rate.
Yeah, that's the standout feature there.
That's a huge jump from the usual 120 hertz we see everywhere, even on the last OnePlus 15R. What does that actually mean for you, the user, day-to-day, and why push that boundary here?
Well, that 165 hertz refresh rate gives you an ultra smooth, really fluid visual experience.
Okay.
So for you, the listener, it translates to incredibly smooth scrolling, animations that just glide, and a definite edge in fast-paced mobile games where, every millisecond can count. It's a clear differentiator.
Aimed squarely at gamers and people who just appreciate that smooth feel.
Exactly. And the resolution is reported as 1.5K, which is a smart balance, really, between sharpness and power efficiency.
Right, don't want to drain that battery too fast just for pixels you might not notice.
Precisely. And some sources also mention LTPO AMOLED tech.
Ah, the adaptive refresh rate stuff.
Yes. That's crucial because it lets the display intelligently adjust its refresh rate. It can go way down to 1 hertz for static images, saving power, and then ramp all the way up to 165 hertz when you're scrolling or gaming.
That's clever. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, it reduces power consumption dramatically while still giving you peak smoothness when it matters.
And it's a flat display design, apparently mirroring the upcoming flagship OnePlus 15. That feels like a conscious choice for brand recognition, maybe perceived value.
Absolutely. But I think it's more than just looks. By giving the, quote, budget flagship the exact same modern flat display style as their top premium device,
Yeah.
OnePlus is subtly blurring the lines in your mind, the consumer's mind. You feel like you're getting that top-tier visual experience without the matching price tag.
It's a smart psychological play. Elevates the whole lineup's feel without adding huge costs.
Exactly. It reinforces that value proposition.
Okay, speed, check. Visuals, check. But what often dictates how much you enjoy all that cool tech is how long your phone actually lasts.
The battery, always crucial.
And for so many people, battery anxiety is just a huge pain point. This is where the OnePlus 15R A6 could be an absolute game changer. Multiple reliable leaks, including from Digital Chat Station, a well-known tipster.
Yeah, usually pretty accurate.
They're indicating a truly massive battery, like 7,000 milli, maybe even up to 7,800 milli.
7,800, that's enormous.
Could probably jumpstart a car with that. Or maybe not, but seriously, how do they cram that much capacity in without the phone becoming like a literal brick?
Well, that's the really impressive part, isn't it? That capacity would be a huge leap from its predecessor, the Ace 5, which had, 615 milli.
Right.
And it even beats the 6,000 milli in the current OnePlus 13 flagship.
Wow.
The secret seems to be the option of new silicon carbon battery technologies.
Okay, new tech.
Yeah, these allow for higher energy density, more power in the same space, without making the phone excessively thick or heavy.
So for you, the user, what does that mean practically?
It potentially means 2 days, maybe even more, of heavy use on a single charge.
That's incredible.
And when you compare that to what we expect from upcoming flagships, like the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra or the iPhone 17 Pro Max, both rumored around 5,000 milliamp.
Yeah, standard flagship size these days.
This device could genuinely offer unmatched battery endurance in the market. It's a massive selling point.
It really is a compelling differentiator. Shows OnePlus is focusing on practical, user-focused improvements.
Definitely. Addresses a major consumer pain point head-on.
And then when you finally do need to plug that beast in, it's consistently expected to support 80W Super VOC fast charging.
Which is still very fast.
Oh, yeah. And there are hints of maybe 100W quick charging and even 40W wireless, though that last one seems a bit less certain for the A6 specifically.
Right. The charging specs are usually solid on these. Okay, moving to imaging. The A6 15R is expected to have a versatile triple rear camera setup. For a budget flagship, what's the most exciting thing we're hearing about the cameras?
I think the real potential game changer here is the strong indication of a dedicated telephoto lens.
Proper optical zoom.
Yes, possibly a 50MP sensor with 3x optical zoom. Now, that would be a massive upgrade for this segment.
Definitely. That's often where these value phones compromise. They skip the telephoto.
Exactly. So for you, this means much better zoom shots, significantly improved portrait photos, things usually reserved for much pricier phones.
That's a big deal for everyday photography. What else is relevant here with the cameras?
Well, there's the broader context of OnePlus's camera strategy overall. The flagship OnePlus 15 is rumored to be dropping the Hasselblad partnership.
Right, moving to an in-house image system.
Exactly.
So if the A6 15R launches around the same time, it could potentially benefit from this new in-house system too.
Meaning?
Meaning maybe a unified camera software, consistent processing across OnePlus's new generation.
Could lead to more optimized performance, maybe a unique OnePlus look to the photos?
Potentially, yeah. It's an interesting development to watch.
Okay, let's shift to design and durability. The leaks suggest a sleek, lightweight build, maybe a metal frame, matte glass back for that premium feel.
Seems likely. Rounded corners, flat display, kind of mirroring that contemporary iPhone aesthetic.
But here's something that might stir things up a bit for longtime OnePlus fans.
Oh, the alert slider.
Bingo. Rumors suggest it might be replaced with a plus key.
A customizable button.
Yeah, for launching apps or functions. What do you make of that? Good for new users, maybe less so for the old guard.
It's definitely a shift. That alert slider is iconic for OnePlus. Replacing it might alienate some loyal users initially. But a customizable key does offer new ways to personalize the phone, quick access to things you use most. Maybe it's about modernizing the experience, introducing something programmable.
Could be. But what about durability? This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, IP rating leaks are significant.
Consistently hearing IP68 or even IP69. Now, IP69 would be a first for OnePlus, right? Yep. Especially on a non-flagship.
Absolutely. That's almost unheard of in this price bracket. IP69 means resistance to high-pressure, high-temperature water jets, way beyond just a splash or dunk.
So what does that tell us? What's the significance for the average user?
It's a huge statement on build quality. It signals OnePlus isn't cutting corners on fundamental toughness.
Right.
For you, the listener, it means this phone is built to survive conditions that would likely destroy most others in its class. It directly challenges that idea that budget means fragile.
Definitely raises the bar. And there are even mentions of special extreme edition or turbo versions.
Yeah, possibly with a built-in active cooling fan, which is wild.
While still being waterproof.
Apparently, that points to a real focus on sustained performance for demanding tasks like heavy gaming.
Okay, so tough and potentially cool under pressure. What about the other bits and pieces? Connectivity?
Oh yeah, it's packed with the modern essentials you'd expect. Full 5G support, obviously. Wi-Fi 7 is tipped.
Latest standard.
Bluetooth V5.4. And for security and convenience, leaks point to an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor.
Which is generally faster and more reliable than the optical ones, right?
Usually, yeah. Plus NFC for contactless payments, universal USB Type-C, dual SIM support, all the standard stuff.
And software-wise.
Expected to run Android 15 out of the box with OnePlus's ColorOS 15 skin on top.
Okay. So all of this really brings us back to OnePlus's overall strategy, doesn't it? This nuanced dual flagship approach.
Exactly. You've got the main numbered series, like the OnePlus 15, going for the top-tier premium market.
Right.
And then the Ace series in China and its global counterpart, the R series, are strategically positioned as, let's call them, accessible premium or maybe performance-focused value devices.
And the leaked pricing really drives this home. The OnePlus Ace 6 is rumored for India at around $29,990.
Yeah, approximately, which is incredibly competitive for the specs we've been talking about.
It really is.
Now, for the global market, as the OnePlus 15R, the expected price in India is higher, around $55,999 for that 12GB, 256GB model.
Okay, so still well below the main flagship, but definitely in that premium mid-range territory. Why the big difference between the Ace 6 rumor and the 15R?
Well, it likely comes down to regional tweaks, maybe different component costs or import duties, and specific market positioning strategies for the global versus the China model.
Gotcha. But even at the 15R price, it's offering a lot of flagship-grade stuff without that absolute top-end cost.
Precisely. It's all about capturing broader market share, offering compelling options at different price points. It's a very layered strategy.
It really feels like OnePlus is circling back in a way to that original flagship killer idea with this A615R concept.
You could definitely see it that way.
And launching the OnePlus 15 flagship and the A6 around the same time, October 2025 in China.
Yeah.
That seems like a deliberate move to cover both ends of the market simultaneously.
Yeah, maximize those holiday sales, hit multiple consumer segments at once.
Okay, so if this A6 does actually land near that 30,000 mark in India, with all these specs, who should be worried? Which competitors are they really targeting?
Oh, a lot of them. At that A6 price, it puts huge pressure on brands like Xiaomi, Realme, maybe even Samsung's A series in that crucial mid-range battleground.
Right.
And for the 15R at its higher price, it starts nipping at the heels of the lower-end true flagships, maybe phones from Google or even older iPhones. It forces everyone to reevaluate their value proposition.
It's a mature strategy.
Yeah.
Diversify, strengthen the brand across different tiers.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the really compelling bits of the OnePlus 15R or the A6 based on everything we've heard. You're looking at, first, that powerful Snapdragon 8's Gen 5 chip. Real performance there.
Definitely a highlight. Then that revolutionary 165 hertz OLED display for super smooth visuals.
Yeah, that's a big one. And potentially that industry-leading 7,800 milliamp battery, if it pans out. Unprecedented endurance.
Plus the possibility of a proper 50MP telephoto lens, which is huge for a phone in this class.
And don't forget that incredibly high IP rating, potentially IP69, elevating its durability way beyond typical budget flagships.
Right. So this device, it isn't just, another phone. It feels like a deliberate statement about value and performance. It's directly addressing key things consumers complain about, like battery life, while also delivering on things they love, like smooth displays. And it uses these new chip tiers and maybe battery tech to make it accessible.
It really asks you, the consumer, to maybe redefine what premium actually means, doesn't it?
I think so. It challenges perceptions.
Okay, final thought then. Given how quickly these lines are blurring between traditional flagships and these budget flagships like the OnePlus 15 or A6, what do you think will be the next truly premium feature that becomes standard in the mid-range? And maybe more importantly, how will that change your expectations for your next phone?